with our children and making a total mess. Especially now, a lot of parents, some parents feel that handing smartphones to their children is okay. And when I mean children, I mean children.
Yeah.
Children. Before you turn 18, you are a child, right?
Yeah.
You are supposed to be 18 and then you are an adult. And not just that, we hand them smartphones. We don't even prepare them. So even while you're trying to hand your adult a phone, you are to prepare them for that, because it's a world, it's an entirely different world that they are going to be exposed to. So when you don't do that properly, when you don't do that due diligence, and you just hand a smartphone that opens like the world to this child's feet, with a click, the child has access to the world. And when I mean the world, the good, the bad, the ugly, the different belief systems, the different ideologies, the different ways of lives, so many things, even the one that you agree with, the ones you don't agree with, the child will be exposed to it. So when you have not prepared this child properly and you expose them into that world, it's like taking a lamb and throwing them to the wolves. That's what some of us do. And we do that because sometimes we are not even aware of the magnitude of what we do. So it could be linked to ignorance on one hand. On the other hand, some of us feel it is a way of showing class and is a bourgeois thing, that I can afford it, so I should be able to give it to my child. It's not really about what you can afford or what you cannot afford. It is about what is good for the child per time. What my child needs right now in his life. Does he need a smartphone? You know, having worked with a lot of families and currently working with a lot of teenagers on a one-on-one basis, I see how parents are struggling with collecting this phone, because now they realize that no, it was a wrong move giving my child a phone. But you know, you can't take it back. And these are teenagers. I know how delicate teenagers and their temperaments and their behaviors and their everything about them is quite delicate. So some parents don't have the muscle anymore to say, I know I made a mistake handing this phone to you. I need it to return. And these are the reasons. So we are afraid of the child not liking us now. We are afraid of the child becoming, you know, all those behavioral deviations. And we can't really take the steps that we need to take. Now, for those of us who are yet to, you're still considering, do I need to hand my children phone? And then you see small children. Now, children in primary schools, they have a smartphone. They have access to smartphones. They have access to all sorts of information. Some people no longer have to even, and we don't checkmate what our children do online. I don't think it is this. In fact, it is not right. It is not safe for us. Coming to the story at hand, somebody had access to a smartphone, and what happened? He was exposed to a lot of things because they had access to internet, unregulated access to the internet. And if you understand the agenda and how this other world want to perverse your children, if you understand it, you know that even you as an adult, you are online reading a Bible online, and there's an advert that pops up on your screen, and it is porn. No matter what you're doing. So imagine that is your child, and the child is curious, and children are very, very curious. With just a click, and you know it's highly addictive, and maybe the child has not seen such a thing before. So the child is fascinated. The child is like, wow, what is this? And the child is looking at it. And maybe you as a parent, you've not even taken time to do any form of sex education for your children, to tell them about the good pictures and the bad pictures and what you do when you see a bad picture. You know, shut it down, show an adult, or do something. We don't equip our children in any way. And this child sees this out of curiosity, wow, excitement. He's seen a lot of things. The child keeps scrolling, and the people your children also relate with. You know, this is one story. There are other stories where it is even friends that will introduce whose parents have given smartphones and they have access to internet. So they go to school and they watch these things. And if you are not, you know, constantly having a close relationship and connection with your children, they may never tell you.
Exactly.
But they may tell you that, wow, mom, see what we watched though, and this person's on this person's phone. You know where your problem is coming from, and you know how to begin to regulate it, you know, and regulate the kind of people your children mingle with. Now, this child has gone online, and yes, they have collected the phone and they have punished the child. What about the psychological impact whatever that child saw has had? Trust me, sometimes it triggers something. Beyond watching, they want to experiment. So this has led a lot of children into self-satisfaction, things like masturbation, and even practicing on other children. So you see them, their parents are not at home, and they practice with themselves whatever it is they have watched, because nobody taught them. Nobody tried to explain to them. Nobody tried to tell them, now this is okay, now this is not okay. So the child is exposed to a lot of things. So beyond even teaching this child and collecting the phone from the child, how about the psychological impact, you know, it has on the child? There's just so much to unpack when we begin to talk about access to the internet, access to phone prematurely, and even technology as a whole. Yes, there's a good side, but when you hand a child a phone at a very tender age, and you have not prepared the child for that world, the most important thing is that even if you think that your child is now 18 as an adult, this is your child, and you know that all your track record, if you check and you can't remember teaching your child about the world of the internet, about the things that you might stumble upon, about the behavior. There is a behavior you must showcase when you are online, about how to handle yourself, which sites not to go to, and why you shouldn't do that to yourself, what it does to you mentally, what it does to you psychologically, what it does to you spiritually, even in performance as a person, right? We need to begin to do these things. Now, as a parent, it is important. That is one aspect. We have not even gone to the effect of excessive screen time on our children, because once you expose them to screen, there's a lot of interesting things they want to look at. So beyond porn is one, gaming sites is another thing. Going through different videos, just watching people dance, laugh, that is highly addictive, because you know you're doing something and the child is laughing over it, the child is interested, it's still releasing those feel good hormones that keeps asking you to keep watching. So you find out that your children become addicted to screen. So what happens? They are no longer reading, anxiety is increased, so many things are happening. So a lot of parents, you announce every time you're on the phone, they were not equipped, they were not trained, there's a culture you must imbibe when you are handling phones. And we need to now know, okay, when do you need to have this phone? What time to what time? What period to what period? That's when you have even handed them the phone. They need to be prepared. But when a child is in primary school, a child is in secondary school, for the love of God, they don't need a smartphone. They don't. So when you work with secondary school children right now, you work with teenagers generally who have phones. There is a lot of harm that phone has done to them, especially when there is access to internet. Do you know that there are game sites that parents on the phone, you don't know it's a gaming site. It's just looking like a normal game. But these games are laden with all sorts of things, even porn, and your children are playing them. And you just come and you see your child playing a game and you think it's just a game. These things are highly addictive, right? So it's important that as parents we begin to look at these things all over again and see what we can do to safeguard our children and preserve their sanity and their sanctity, and prepare them for that world. Technology is good, and you know there's a difference between being tech savvy and being social media savvy. These are two different things. So that your children know technology is not that they are on social media and they are on all these social media and online sites. So you can teach your children tech. So your children can do a presentation on PowerPoint. So they need a laptop for that. And a laptop that is parental controlled for the internet. There are sites you can't cross. That if they even need it. So my children own a laptop, but everything on that laptop is controlled. And there is no internet. Because there are apps on the laptop that you can actually operate without having to be online. And these are educational apps. Okay, so you can get all that for your children. So they do presentation. So I can give them a topic. They do a presentation and do it on a PowerPoint slide and present. That is teaching your children technology. And these are skills that they actually need.
Yeah.
But they know that they are not going to own a smartphone until they enter university. So you must have finished secondary school and you're going into, and I tell them, for you to own a phone and go into go online, you must go online with an identity. You're coming online, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, with an identity. There is something I'm coming here to do. You're coming to contribute something to the world. You're not going to be a consumer. I am coming to give value. I'm not just coming to consume content. So I'm coming to give out content. That means you need to. I'm your mom. I'm on Facebook. I'm on all these social media handles. But I'm there for a reason. I'm not just there to carry and be taking what people are saying and watching videos upon videos. I work online, right? But sometimes I hardly stay online all day. There's a level of time I spend doing what I have to do online. So I am online with an identity. So that's why it's also important that we as parents, we lead by examples. Exactly. Because you can't be the one scrolling all through, watching all the whole videos and laughing with your children.
And you tell them not to.
And then you tell them not to do that. How? Okay, so they see you watch all these comedians, even the male comedians that dress like females. And we allow our children watch it. Do you know what we are normalizing? Exactly. Sometimes I see those things and I am angry. Is there a way to tell this guy that this is not funny? There's nothing funny about a guy cross-dressing and then doing all and now they are behaving like a woman. They are tying wrapper, they are doing and they are laughing, and women are watching with their children and we are laughing. Now your son is watching, right? And seeing a male with lipstick, with wig, and just speaking like a woman and behaving like a woman, and tomorrow the child goes to the mirror to mimic it, because of course mommy was okay with it.
You beat the child.
Of course,
yes,
that we normalized it.
Exactly.
You are okay with it. So if my child, I've told you, you're coming to the online space with an identity, my brother, my son, my daughter. You can't just be coming anyhow. So by the time we are ready for the internet, you're going to tell me. So what is your aim of coming here? Not to come and be dance. You see small children in secondary school shaking their butt on TikTok. And having, it's not about having plenty followers. It is about the value you bring to the marketplace. You must know that you're not coming here to consume content and just consume and burn data. You have to come with an identity and give something to the world. You're not only a consumer. So that is the ideology you need to, when you raise your children with this kind of mindset, you don't need to struggle to say, hold phone, don't hold phone. They know. And they can't wait to. So right now, they are thinking of what they want to contribute to the world. They are trying to develop themselves. They are trying to grow themselves. Teach your children. Okay, so now my children do Canva designs.
Wow.
There's a Canva app on their laptop.
Yeah.
Do you understand? They don't touch my phone. All these ones that parents say, you drop your phone, you come and see plenty pictures that your children are taking with your phone. My phone is not a toy. You can't. I can drop my phone anywhere in the house, and I meet it exactly how it is. Nobody touches my phone in the name of whatever. So you need to use my phone for a research. You have to ask me for permission. The phone is mine. It's not your own. Do you understand? And it is not a toy.
Yeah.
So the internet is always there. So you can't just go and pick up my phone for any reason. And when I'm using my phone to do something, no matter what I'm doing on my phone, I have trained them to say, you can't come and look into my phone. So I could be looking at my phone and laughing. My child, you now come and say, you want to look. No, you don't look into my phone. Because you don't know what I'm looking at.
Exactly.
Except I invite you to look at my phone. Do you understand?
Wow.
So somebody may say this is extreme, but the world has gone extreme. So we need to do our best to protect the children's sanity. It is really, really important. So you, the parents, be a model. Ensure that you don't watch all those things with your children and laugh over it, and then you come and say, my son, this one you're wearing wig.
Exactly.
What is happening?
What is happening?
After you have watched, so it's really, there's so much to unpack, in this conversation.
Yeah,
but I know that
still
we'll
unpack them.
keep going there.
Yeah, we'll keep going there, and I love the fact